So I'm in the shed. I was doing some tinkering in here. I had some reflection on the Renault Zoe that I was testing this week. The model I was testing was the Q210 apparently. I spoke to the electric vehicle sales guy at the main Renault dealership in Brussels. The new model is the R240. 210 depicts the maximum range, 210 kilometers. The R240, 240 kilometers. I did 150 kilometers without any problem. He's done 180 without a problem, and also admits that 210 kilometers is a bit optimistic. You'd have to be slipstreaming trucks on the motorway at 90 kilometers an hour exactly to get that full range. Interestingly, the 240 version is slightly cheaper than the 210 because the batteries are now built or sourced locally in France. Rather than being imported from Spain, so they can shift it about €500 cheaper. The 240 is around 21,000 and 21,500, I believe, and the 210 was 22,050 or something. The charging stuff, the 240 volt cable that was given for domestic socket isn't normally given with the car because it is very slow. And in fact, Renault will come and fit Type 2 charger to your house for free when you buy the vehicle. So that's quite interesting, really. I know BMW, that was an extra. So that solves the home charging issue. Out and about charging, yeah, there's definitely a problem with infrastructure. I mentioned it in the i3 videos. Massive issue with communication between the charging post installers and the manufacturers. The list I had was out of date. The charging post that I wanted to charge at was listed as compatible for the Zoe. It wasn't. That was an issue, and that is still an issue. The sales guy said 2 local fuel stations have installed charging posts, but neither are connected at the moment. So they're listed as having posts, but they're not connected. So it's a bit of a nightmare, really, all that stuff. I also asked, where are these Zoes? So they're supposed to be the most popular electric car in Belgium, and this is the first one I've seen. And I know a part of that is because they blend in. I noticed that you see it in a car park, it's just another Renault. Doesn't stand out, doesn't scream at you as I'm an electric car. So I've probably driven past lots of them without even noticing it, actually. I asked about how do they go about promoting it, because it's still a premium price over a car the same finish, the same size from the same manufacturer. And he said, yeah, that's also a bit of a problem. The dealerships are, I wouldn't say struggling a little bit, but they have to be convinced to promote the electric vehicles. It's quite easy to understand. Take a local dealership in the town. He's been there 25 years or whatever. He sells to his regular clients probably. They come back after a few years to buy a new car. There's not much sales he has to do. They buy a new car, diesel or petrol. The amount of time you have to put into selling an electric car, convincing someone, electric is the way to go, isn't worth their while. Plus the extra income they have. They sell the car, they get a profit on that. That's not the main earner for a garage. The main earner is maintenance costs. What maintenance costs do you have on electric? Fuses probably, bits and pieces of electrical stuff, a few belts that might pop off, battery pack that dies, but that's replacement stuff, and bodywork. So oil changes and stuff aren't going to happen. My diesel car, this week I took it for a service, 30,000 kilometers, 300 and something euro. You lose all that, you forget all that when you've got electric. I also mentioned the rental of the battery to explain that a little bit, because I was at odds, is that a good idea or not? Of course, he was a sales guy, he was good at explaining. For €142 a month, you've got peace of mind that if the battery pack does pop, they're going to replace it. If it gets damaged anyway, they will replace it. Plus, they apparently have a policy that later, within the next 3-4 years or whatever. If they develop a higher density battery pack, which will give you like 400 kilometers of range, they can contact all their Zoe owners and say, look, we can replace your battery pack. You contribute a little bit towards that, continue paying your monthly rental, and you've got a new car essentially. You've got 20%, 30%, 50% more range. The battery pack alone costs €8,500, so if you need to replace that, that's a fair whack of price. The i3 was an outright purchase. The Tesla is mostly on lease, so people don't really worry about that too much. But their battery pack is over €20,000, so I wouldn't want to replace that anyway. So there you go, really. It's an uphill struggle for them. They also have the Twizy, which he says, yeah, it's got all the advantages of electric in a way, but also disadvantages of a car. You can't go on the pavement. It's small. It carries 2 people. 80 kilometers of range. It's almost €10,000. It's a fun thing. It's more like a thing to say, we can do it. We can make it. It's not a vehicle really that's a serious vehicle for work. I also asked for purchasing the Zoe as for business, for fleet use. There's no government subsidy for that, but at the moment here in Belgium it's 120% deductible on your tax, so that's not bad. Buy it privately, you get €5,000 funding or something from the Flemish government, plus maybe some other subsidies that are out there. All in all, I thought it was a rather good car. The sales guy described it as a wellness centre on wheels, and that's what I mentioned with the BMW i3. You get in it and you want to put your slippers on. It's relaxing to drive. You don't have to think about the driving process. I mean, we've all driven long enough. A lot of people enjoy driving. They enjoy gear shifting. They enjoy the noise. But when you just want to get to A to B, from A to B, sometimes you just want to roll and not think about it. You just want to get there, concentrate on the journey, on driving conditions, and relax. And I have to say, it's much more relaxing to drive than a fuel car. Would I have one? I would. Yeah, I think I would, but not as a main car, as a second car. I'm a little bit spoilt now. I've got a rather okay car, and I wouldn't want to give up that comfort for electric right now, for the Zoe right now. The only one that I would have the same comfort level in is the Tesla Model S, which is out of my price category at the moment and actually too big for what I need. But if I was an employee and I just needed a car just to do my stuff, go to work, shopping, trips and bits and pieces, yeah, I probably would go and get a Renault Zoe, to be honest. The BMW is actually a beautiful design car, love it or hate it. It stands out, but in the current model it just doesn't do enough kilometres for what I need. And it's double the price. If we look at 21,000 and a bit now for the R240, the BMW I tested was €45,000. Yeah, a bit more comfortable, a bit more oomph when you accelerate, but is it double the price? You could buy 2 Zoes. You could have one at home, one halfway to your destination, locked up in a garage, being charged up, drive to it, pick up the other one and drive forward. You know, you've got double the range with 2 cars. I mean, stupid idea, but... So there you go. I'm going to get back to tinkering. I've got an electric project going on here that I'm working on, and I'll get back to you as soon as I get my grips on another electric car.